Okay, Dr. Lewis, talk to us about Obamacare.
Obamacare, government intervention in medicine. Well, I'm speaking to you from the Ayn Rand Institute 2011 Summer Conference, and I've just given a talk a couple of days ago detailing, with as much as one can do in an hour, and I think that's all the time it takes, the evils of government intervention in medicine. Look, when you go to a doctor, what is it that you rely on? What is it that you need? You need the doctor to think. You need the doctor to bring forth his years of experience and skills to deal with you as an individual in line with all of the knowledge he knows from dealing with many, many patients over years, from years and years of schooling, from decades of commitment to reading medical journals, to going to conferences, to staying up to date on the latest techniques and the latest skills. All of this means you rely on this doctor to think and to think as an individual about you as an individual. Now, what do you think would happen if I walked into that doctor's room while he's examining you with a machine gun and stood behind him and started telling him what to think, how to keep his records, what to do, and basically how to treat you? This is the essence of what government medicine does. Bureaucrats in Washington, starting from the legislature on down, writing thousands of pages of rules. And let us remember, the Obamacare bill with its amendments is about 2,700 pages long. The average number of regulations written for such a bill in history is about 10 pages to one. You can look forward to the neighborhood of 25 to 30,000 pages of regulations, which doctors are now to follow. And if they choose not to follow them, they can lose their license, they can lose their funding, they can lose their practices. They could lose their lives, their livelihood, right? No good can come of such a system. And if we look across the world, no good has come of it. Many Americans are want to point, for example, to the British system or the Canadian system and say how wonderful it is. Many of them have not lived there. Many of them have not come to realize that the wait for medical tests can be months long. I lived in England for almost 5 years. I saw a man with an aortic aneurysm, a bubble on his aorta coming out of his heart, which is a walking time bomb. In the United States, if discovered, he would have been rushed to the operating room. They'd have fixed it immediately and straightened out the money later. He walked around with this for 12 months, having his operation delayed 8 times because of a lack of beds. I saw this kind of thing repeatedly. This is what government intervention in medicine does. It needs to be opposed, and it needs to be opposed on principle. We have to set doctors free to run their own practices in voluntary contract with their employers if they choose to be employed, or their private practices as they see fit. We need a return to contracts between patients and their insurance companies, contracts which are enforced by law, not dictated by the government. And we need an understanding in patients that they have a responsibility themselves for their own lives.
Excellent. So when will your talk be available to the public?
Well, the talk will be available through the Ayn Rand Institute website, Ayn Rand Institute bookstore, the Ayn Rand bookstore. You can go to aynrand.org on the web and find this.
Thank you.